electrical engineering, and today is working for a top company in New York as a digital wireless expert, exactly in the area where he wanted to be. So he had to leave eventually to get his dream, and Yash's story is not unique. His story is probably the most common story. There's so many people who are nodding here because they're like, I know Yash, right? So I am guilty of brain drain, yes, but I do sleep well at night knowing that I'm working in the best interest of the student. So I look at 5 different areas where we could improve to keep our best talent here with us. The first is just the sheer volume of institutes that we have. Let's make more IITs, more IIMs, let's make more top quality institutes. Do you know that we have 12 lakh students who try for the IITs and 11,000 get in? What is that, 0.92%? 250,000 students try for the IIMs and 3,250 get in. What's that, 1.3%? Why? What happens to the lakhs of other qualified students? Where do they go? So some students tell me that, you know what, let's apply to Harvard, Stanford as backups, we'll try IIM first. I mean, really? Is that how we have to think? These schools have 7-8% acceptance, but they still think of that as a wow chance compared to what's going to happen in our country. So for me, number one is let's create more top quality institutes so our qualified people can stay here. Number two would be just the focus of our education, which is theory-based. Let's make it practical. Let's have case studies. Let's talk about what happens in companies today. I mean, my children tell me, I'm learning chemistry, but how is this going to apply in my life? What about this concept? We need to tell our kids that whatever we're teaching you, it's going to prepare you for your job. It's going to prepare you for what you want to do in the real world. Outside India, people are being trained for jobs that don't exist today. And how? You may ask me that, how do you do that? Well, you train the children to be innovators. You train them to be leaders. You train them for teamwork. And then you know you've done your job, because no matter what job comes their way, they would be able to do it. So the focus of our education has to shift from theory, maybe I'm not saying no theory, but theory with a lot more practical experience. The third would be the quality of our teachers. Now, to me, teaching is the most noble profession that we have. I know our Miss World said motherhood is the most noble profession, and I agree, yes, but so is teaching. Teachers are the ones who are shaping our individuals. They're the ones shaping our future generation, but they're not motivated. They are one of the lowest paid salary professions out there. Why? Why don't students come and tell me, I want to become a teacher? No, it's probably a fallback option for a lot of people, and that has to change. The teachers are the ones who will motivate our kids. They're the ones who will tell our kids that I'm going to prepare you for a great life ahead. So that would be 3. And 4 would be technology, of course. We need to put more technology in education. A simple thing like video recordings. Record your faculty. You get quality control, you get consistency. It can be viewed again and again. Today, the poorest of poor students have access to smartphones. They have access to internet. They can view these lectures. Think of the great outreach that we're going to have just by putting a little bit of technology into education. And 5, the last one would be just increase the number of jobs. We cannot have a situation like Yash and so many other kids that you study one subject but you don't have a job. My pharmacy kids, they study for 5 years, and where are they? They're working in your chemist, dispensing drugs. And they're like, this is not what I envisioned when I studied pharmacy. So we just need to create more quality jobs. So I think this 360-degree approach, look at the 5 critical problems that we have, let's work on them because there are solutions. Each of these problems can be solved, and we would be able to keep this humongous talent that we have, this great talent back in our country. So, yes.
Very, very well put, Karan. Really, really. You explained them, all the 5 points very succinctly. And indeed, each of those can be addressed, because when you were talking, I think most of the people were nodding because they were feeling that, yes, what you have mentioned are indeed real problems, particularly rote learning. I'd worked for a while with the National Knowledge Commission with Mr. Sam Petroda, and we did these outreaches into villages near Thiruvananthapuram, where we went and spoke to principals of schools, where the entire emphasis was on just rote learning, and there was no appreciation. Perhaps I might add a sixth point, that there is no skill-based, there's a frowning down upon skill-based learning. So, you know, we need plumbers, carpenters, electricians, we need basic, you know, so if there are people from, say, not the highest echelons of society, but those who are looking for an education, it's just as good an education to become a plumber and be able to, you know, sustain your livelihood, but not to look down upon that. Everyone wants to become an engineer.